Welcome to searchandanalysis.com. In today's video, I will explain the concept of mediation, and also I will tell you how to examine the mediation model in SPSS both through traditional method and as well as process macro. First of all, let me explain you what is the mediation. A mediation model seeks to identify and explain the mechanisms through which the independent variable influence dependent variable. A mediating variable is also known as intermediary or intervening variable. Rather than a direct causal relationship between independent variable and the dependent variable, a mediation model proposed that the independent variable influence the mediating variable and which in turn influence the dependent variable. So we can say it's a kind of chain that first independent variable influenced mediator, and after that in next step mediating variable influence dependent variable. Thus the mediating variable serves to clarify the nature of relationship between the independent and dependent variables. Actually, the mediation analysis are being applied to explore the relationship, or we can say it is being used to explore the underlying mechanism through which independent variable influence dependent variable. So this is the basic diagram of mediation. If we are considering the traditional method, this is the basic diagram, and this diagram is also suggested by Barron and Kenny, which is one of the most cited paper if you want to see the concept related to mediation and moderation. Please, if you are new to mediation and moderation, I guess you should read this article, The Moderator Mediator Variable Distinction in Social Psychological Research, Conceptual, Strategic and Statistical Consideration. This article has more than 96,000 citations, so you can understand the importance of this topic and this paper. So the basic diagram of mediation, we can clearly see one is independent variable, dependent variable, and in between we have mediating variable. So here are given three paths. First one is path A, that is representing the relationship between independent variable and mediating variable. Then we have path B, which is representing the relationship between mediator and dependent variable. And finally we have the path C, that is representing the relationship between independent and dependent variable. According to Barron and Kenny, in order to examine the mediating effect or the role of a mediator, first there should fulfill these three steps or three conditions. If these conditions are fulfilled, then you can proceed with the mediation testing. So this is a bit advanced version of mediation. Even the process macro is following the same diagram. Here you can see the relationship between independent and dependent variable is represented by path C, which is the total effect of independent on dependent variable. And then we have the same diagram that you have seen in last slide, but only difference is the path C dash. Here path C dash is representing the direct relationship between independent and dependent variable. So you can clearly see that the C, which is the total effect, is equal to C dash direct effect and indirect effect, which is being represented by AB. So this is the model which we will use in the analysis. We have three variables. First one is transformational leadership, job satisfaction, which is the mediator here, and finally we have the outcome, PWB, psychological well-being. So let's start with the analysis. Well, this is the data we have. that we have three variables. First one is transformational leadership, job satisfaction, and psychological well-being. Before proceeding the analysis, we will need to have the averages of these three variables. So let's calculate. First one is transformational leadership. So we can create TL, and so here are 7 items. So TL have been created. Now we will need second variable, which is job satisfaction. And finally we need PWB. This consists of 8 items. Sorry, let's just check. So here we have 8 items, so we will divide it by 8. So now you can see we have created the averages of these three variables, TL, JS, and PWB. Now we are going to proceed with the mediation analysis. Go to analyze, just go to regression and linear regression, and here we have dependent variable, independent variable. So what you will do, just put dependent variable, psychological well-being, and in independent variable, for sure first we will, if you recall our conversation, first we will have to examine the 3 steps: the relationship between independent and dependent variable, relationship between independent and mediator, then relationship between mediator and the dependent variable. After that we will proceed with mediation analysis. So PWB is our dependent variable and TL is our independent variable. And here we can rely on, that's okay I guess. So in first step we have examined the relationship between TL and PWB, which are our independent and dependent variable, so it is significant. So first step, or we can say first condition have been fulfilled. So what we will do, again we will go to analyze, regression, linear regression, and then we will put, and now we want to examine the relationship between independent variable and the mediator, and then just okay. So which is also significant. Again we will have to go to regression, linear regression, and we are interested to see the relationship between our mediator and the dependent variable. So our mediator is job satisfaction, so it will become a independent variable, and finally the PWB our dependent variable. So it is also significant. So after fulfilling these three conditions, now we are ready to proceed with mediation analysis. We will have to go go with analyze, again regression, and linear regression. What we will make any change, just PWB independent variable. And in order to examine the mediating impact, like in our example, if we want to examine the mediating role of job satisfaction between transformational leadership and PWB, first we will have to control the impact of mediator. So in this way, first we will enter here the job satisfaction, and after that we will enter TL, transformational leadership. If you enter this way, this is how you can control the impact of your mediator. And then finally you can just click OK. And here you can see the impact of TL on PWB, which is 0.41, which is still significant. It means that when you control the impact of your mediator, the relationship between your independent and dependent variable are still significant. In ideal situation, after controlling the impact of your mediator, the relationship between independent and dependent variables should be insignificant. This is the ideal situation, and we can say in that way the mediation, there will be a full mediation. But if the case is like this, we still have the significant impact of TL on PWB. So we will have to examine, we will have to compare the beta before controlling the mediator and after controlling the mediating effect. So we can examine, just go to the first tab. Here you can see the beta value was 0.628, which become, after controlling the effect of mediator, it has reduced to 0.541. It shows that there is actually a partial mediation, or we can say job satisfaction partially mediated the relationship between transformational leadership and psychological value. Well, this is the mediation analysis through traditional method. Now I will proceed the analysis with process macro. For this purpose, you must need to install the process macro, which you can find here. Like after installing this, you will find the process macro here, like in regression. Go to regression, and here you can see the option of process. Just click it. And after that, what you need to do, just put TL, which is your independent variable. You can put it here in the X box, and PWB, which is your dependent variable, you will put here, and then put your mediator in the mediator box. And the most important thing, you should just change the model number. You actually need to memorize which model is appropriate for mediation, moderation, or any other kind of analysis which you want to run in your data. But in order to examine the mediating role, you always use the model 4. And just go to the options. Here you can see some advanced options. You can click, yeah, we need show total effect model, yes. And then maybe we can click mediation only models, yes, we can do that. And I guess that's all. And from here we can change it. P is less than 0.05. Alright, we are ready to proceed the analysis. Click OK. And it will take a few seconds. So finally we got our analysis. So in the output file you can see, first just confirm it whether it's the model 4, then just reconfirm y, which is representing your dependent variable, reconfirm that whether it is right. Yes, it is right. pwb was our dependent variable, then tl is our independent variable, and the mediator is js job satisfaction. This is the sample size, and here are the outcomes. First you can see it is showing the impact of TL on job satisfaction. So here the coefficient is 0.7075. Another important thing, whenever we run the analysis through process, it give us the option of bootstrap. Like if you remember, there was already written 5000, so we used 5000 bootstrap resample. So whenever we done bootstrap, it always tell us the interval, lower level confidence interval and upper level confidence interval. So in order to be significant, we will first look the p-value, which is showing the significance, and also there should be no zero between the interval. As we can see, both are positive. So, and there is no zero for sure. If there is both intervals are in the minus or both are positive, there is no zero between the interval. If they have like difference value, one is positive, another one is negative, then for sure there is a zero involved here. That means that the relationship is insignificant. So this is showing first the relationship between TL and PWB. You can see this is showing the relationship between TL and, okay, we already explained it. Yes, no, first one is relationship between TL and JS, and then the relationship between TL and PWB. This is the coefficient value, standard error, T, P value, and then the confidence interval, the lower level and the upper level, which is showing the significance of the relationship between TL and PWB. And then is job satisfaction, the impact of job satisfaction on PWB, that is representing here the coefficient, standard error, T value, and this is showing the P value, and finally we have the lower level and upper level confidence intervals. So this is also representing here, after controlling the impact of mediator, and the coefficient has become 0.5408, which was like 0.7075, but after controlling the effect of mediator, it has become 0.5408. Well, in the summary you can also just look again. Here it is representing the total effect. First one is, here is the summary of all the results. First one is total effect of X on Y. Here this is representing the total effect, and then we can see the direct effect. After controlling the mediator, the impact has reduced to 0.5408. And finally we have indirect effect. And according to Preacher and Hayes, after examining all three conditions and direct effect, you need to look into the indirect effect as well. In order to be the significance of mediating role, you should see or examine the indirect effect of independent variable on the dependent variable. If it is significant, then you can conclude that there is a mediation, or we can say, and the role of mediator is significant. So here we can see, and there in the lower level confidence interval and upper level confidence interval there is no zero. So it means that the role of mediator is significant. And then there are given the partially standardized and completely standardized. So if you want to use the completely standardized result, then for sure you will mention the coefficient, this one 0.0852, and bootstrap standard error 0.0 320, and boot LLCI and ULCI is 0.0229 and upper level 0.1499. So this is how you can examine the role of mediator through process macro. I hope you have understand the concept of mediation and how to examine it both through traditional method and through process macro. If you will have any further question, you can write in the comments of the video. Thanks for watching.